I am inspired by the colors of the sky, the setting sun, colors in nature, the way light reflects off a window. My name is Jenny Hahn. I'm a painter. I love color.
With me today is Jenny Hahn, who is a painter down in the Crossroads. First time I ever saw Jenny's work was during First Fridays. I got to go into her studio and check it out, and I signed it. I'm saying too much because I don't want to give anything away. So let's just talk to Jenny. I think that's the best way to do this. I won't do any intros. Let's just talk to Jenny. Jenny, how are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing well. You know, that's a loaded question. How I'm doing shifts from moment to moment. I think for all of us. On one hand, you know, it's easy to be in a panic mode, being a self-employed artist and workshop facilitator, and with opportunities being canceled left and right for public experiences. But on the other hand, I feel very hopeful just about the way everybody's working together right now, or a lot of people are working together right now to help protect one another, and just, you know, witnessing the levels of creativity and innovation that are happening through this challenge is inspiring. And so I think it's, you know, we're in a good opportunity right now to kind of reevaluate, like what, for me, reevaluate how I've been sharing my work with the world, and you know, what I want to do from here.
Yeah, it's completely different. So have you noticed a difference or a shift in how you're using your time? Are you using your time differently now than you were before all this started? How does your, you know, how does your structure look now? How are you looking at your day compared to the way you were looking at your day?
So yeah, I'm working a lot more from home. And on a professional level, I'm really trying to use this time to stretch myself, to learn new technologies that I've always wanted to utilize but hadn't put into place yet. So in terms of shifting my workshops to more of an online platform, that's both scary and exciting at the same time. But as far as for me personally, I'm using art and writing to really just support my own well-being and express my feelings during this time, and you know, using it more for process. And then if I feel that something would serve, then I share it with others.
I think it's really going to shine a light on mental health, to be honest with you. Like I don't think I've ever focused on my mental health as much as I am right now.
Absolutely. And you know, a lot of artists I've heard a lot of people talking about like productivity and staying producing and business as usual and all of these things. And really, I feel like mental health, you know, emotional well-being and physical safety, those are like the most important things right now. And so, you know, I've always been sort of a workaholic, but I'm really, for me, I think it's an opportunity to step back and take a deep breath and just feel, you know, what we're feeling. And if creativity serves, then to express and perhaps to share it, but always to put, you know, well-being and connections first.
Absolutely. I'm finding that everywhere, and that's great. Do you find, kind of getting back to the art for a moment and producing, do you find yourself producing more art, less art? And I'll make a caveat to that, is once you're producing the art and looking at it, has your style or anything changed because of the circumstance?
Well, I'm definitely working smaller than I was. My usual work is, you know, usually 3 by 4 foot acrylic paintings on board. I'm, you know, having to shift that a bit, working with smaller and with different materials here at home. But like I said, working a lot more from my own process right now. So trying not to get too caught up with productivity and things like that. And when I work for a process, when I do my own work, I'm not okay, so anybody who knows my work knows I love color. But when I'm doing work for process, I'm not as focused on, say, the elements of design and the color wheel and things like that. I am just grabbing what feels right and expressing. So it can end up looking, it can perhaps be a little darker image-wise, but it's always still raw and real and truthful. So, whether it is my process work or my traditional, larger, vibrant paintings, I think all of my work carries that thread of just a heartfelt quality, a spiritual quality, whether it's the dark or the light, or both.
I was always thinking about, especially since you are located, or you're traditionally, your studio is located in the Crossroads and right off 18th Street at the Bower, is when this whole thing gets lifted, when we start getting back out there and we get to go visit our first Friday, do you think, our first Friday, I always do that, do you think there's going to be a plethora of new style of art here in Kansas City from different artists? Have you even gotten that far ahead yet? I'm just wishing for the future, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to imagine. And I do have so many fond memories of First Fridays and just the diversity of work and the large crowds. And I think we all sort of yearn for that in a way. And also at the same time, it's hard to say how our methods of exhibiting are going to shift moving forward. Whether we're going to continue those large gatherings. I've heard from other artists in other states who have gotten really creative about, setting up an art show in their front yard for a drive-by or in their driveways. During the shelter in place, there's a lot of that happening, but we just don't know what it's going to look like. And there could be ways of creating and exhibiting that we just aren't even thinking of yet. I do think that it will be a rich time for just for seeing the work that is being born during this global pandemic. What is going to be birthed from this will be really interesting.
It's a whole new way to look at the world, that is for sure, that we've never been accustomed to before. And I also, to your point about people getting out, I was reading an email today from some of the theaters here in Kansas City that their worry is not just, hey, you can open, but when will the public feel safe enough to be in a gathering of 500 people, 1,000 people? That could really hamper the arts even further than what we could have ever imagined, because just when it ends, we still have to get back to being comfortable as an audience, right?
Exactly. And that's why just only time will tell how that's going to look. And in the meantime, I think utilizing these digital platforms are really important. They certainly don't substitute the in-person experience, but as you said, we just don't know when that's going to be, what's going to be our new normal in the future.
Well, I still look forward to getting out on First Fridays, that is for sure. And not just First Fridays, but we can come visit you more than that. So where is the best place to come visit your work, Jenny? How should we view it online? How can we get in contact with you to see your work and to see what you're up to?
So my website is jennyhanart.com. And I have all my original paintings on there, plus various print options for all of my art, including some live previewing tools and such. And I'll put a plug, I'm actually having a stay-at-home sale through the month of April. You can also follow my work and my posts on social media at Jenny Han Art on Facebook and Instagram. So for now, it's all online for now.
Perfect. And let's get people there to visit and check out your work, because I really do enjoy it, and I love seeing it. What did I miss? What is it you wanted to tell people, or what haven't I asked that I should have?
On my artist statement, I always say that painting is my connection to the mystery. And right now, we're all living in the mystery together. So I believe that we are all creative beings worthy of expression. Whether we are a professional artist or not, it doesn't matter. No matter what the medium, that creative expression can be a tool for self-discovery, for mindfulness, for heartfulness during these difficult times. And it can bring about wholeness and create meaning from within when not a lot on the outside makes sense right now. So I think that creative expression is a tool we can all use and come home to in these times.